So really disappointing trade here this morning on Nvidia. Had a really good thesis, got paid out quite a bit, but kind of got greedy and ignored a lot of my trading rules, which turned what would have been a $1 per share win into a pretty significant loss. Ended up kind of bag holding this a little bit. So this trade's illustrative kind of for myself, just to make sure I'm not doing anything dumb like that again, and for transparency reasons. How's the IV looking across the board? Yeah, a little bit, yeah. So, okay, we're creeping up into the possible entry zone here, right? I just want to make sure, guys, that on any entry, right, I'm not just trying to enter right away, because this is a pretty big stop loss required, right? So I want to see the reaction here inside this zone, and then I can make a sort of judgment call. But Michael, good eye here this morning, man. Good eye. AMD, the reason we're not focusing on this, right, because volume's just not bigger than what I saw previous day. It's just under, right? So on a skin of your teeth type ruling. So let's see how close we can get to those highs. Maybe even buy a fake out higher. Shouldn't say buy, sell a fake out higher, right? My biggest fear here today, right, is indecision, right? So I want to make sure that if I lose, I'm losing as small as possible, not getting stuck in something. Okay, Apple back above 150, which is interesting. Just a big stop loss from here, guys, right? So for those trading options, right, it's just like a, you know, position sizing is your stop loss kind of thing. So I really think this is actually probably where I went wrong on this trade. Stop loss probably a little bit too aggressive. Didn't give myself or trading a bigger stop loss than I'm used to. And I think that's what triggered that maybe bag hold here in hindsight. That's all of a sudden pretty tempting here. $1.50 to make $6. Hello. Yeah, so I'll be looking for an entry here pretty soon if I can get just a little bit of a another move higher. Starting to feel like I'm seeing a little bit of a wall here at that 228.50. Just gonna give it a sec still. Gonna give it a second, right? I want to be very, very patient. These are good pullbacks, right? These are good risk reward pullbacks. All right, guys, so I am in here. Average price 227.79. Average price 227.79. So what I kind of noticed on this play a little bit is that I kind of have a pattern here of kind of entering when price is already moving in the direction that I want. So in this context, I should be buying kind of on when it's making a higher high, or should be looking to go short then, instead of looking to go short as it's already kind of breaking down. So my entry timing needs to be a little bit more, I guess, precise, right? That's going to make it a lot easier for me. And this is not a full position size, right? Because of the size of this stop loss. My stop loss here is still like $1.50, right? So I'm not full port on this, right? I'm about 2/3 of my max position size. For those of you who are trading options, you'd want to be smaller than that. Yeah, Apple's a little bit of an outlier here for sure. But I gotta trust my analysis here. Getting an A+ look, I gotta take advantage of it. Maybe not the best entry. Struggling with my entries, I would say, over the last week or so. So now I've identified what that struggle is, right? I notice I'm kind of buying entries when they're dipping instead of when they're pumping higher. I want to be buying in on that high touch instead of as it's coming back down towards sort of that middle red line. Yeah, I would say so far so good here, right? So far so good. So I'm going to take off a little bit here at about $1 a share, right? So I'm going to take off about 20% of my position at this area. There we go. Took some off. 226.73. Right, so I've already locked in a pretty nice sized win here, closing 20% of my position at $1 a share. I'm honestly disgusted with myself that I let this trade go red. Pretty inexcusable outcome, should not have happened. I got greedy 100% on this play. In hindsight, actually a really good entry. So fantastic little play here so far, right? Fantastic little play. Let's see if this thing can keep giving me some further follow through, but great start, everybody. Really, really well done. Like I've said, I've already closed off about 20% of my position, and stop loss on my remainder is going to be at my break-even price. So we'll call that, 227.70. Let's call that my entry price. Spread's a little bit wacky. No, I'm trading stocks here, Matthew. If I would have been in options, I would have said the strike, but I'm in at 227.79 with shares. So let's even keep getting a bit of further separation here. It's just kind of buzzing right around at my entry price. Well, yeah, of course, IV is going to be very expensive, right? Because the VIX is at 30, right? So, of course, you're going to be juiced up premiums across the board because the market's expecting more volatility, right? So that's where the mistake happened right there, right? Ignored my stop loss, didn't close my position where I said I was going to. Got greedy because I got that big follow through on that initial take profit. So wanted more, right? Kind of felt like there was going to be more in that move. So from now until I close this position in about an hour and 15 minutes or something like that, you're just going to see me suffering. Not really too much else to say there. So should not have been holding here. Should have closed out for a small, win. And this unfortunately now spirals out of control to a certain extent by just being unwilling to close this trade. Had a lot of chances to kind of get back to break even or even a winning play again, and just didn't have the courage to close my position. So lots of mistakes, lots of things to be disappointed about, and leave you to it. I don't know if I like necessarily these reps higher though, right? These are going to get kind of a pain in the ass. where it's almost like squeezing a bit. Still green here, so I'm going to hold on for a sec. Yeah, I hear that, Jack. It's going to be a week like that, potentially, with VIX so expensive. So maybe you need to adjust your position sizing here, right, to account for that, where you're going smaller, or change the contracts that you're going for to be able to get the exposure you want. Time 9:58. Nice work, Rusty. Nice work. Hey, green is green, right? We'll take it all day long. Start the day off with a win. Quite bouncy here so far still. Nice, Sean. Well, hey, win's a win too, right? But that's what we're expecting. The volatility here this week is going to be a little bit nuts. Right? So many different events like that bank collapse, CPI here tomorrow, VIX above 30. All those are kind of telling you that, hey, volatility is at all-time highs or near all-time highs, right? Well, relative. I don't want to say VIX is at all-time highs. That's not the case. But it's it's telling you that, hey, we're expecting a little bit more craziness than normal, right? That's honestly the nicest thing about trading shares here. Don't deal with an ounce of time decay, right? So all of a sudden have a nice little buffer here. One thing I really want to work on, and it's kind of a reflection after last week. Last week, right, had a lot of really good ideas that after I took that first take profit, if I just kept my stop loss at the original stop loss location, I would have ended up making a huge amount of money on some plays. So it's not necessarily I'm going to default to doing that, but I want to focus on playing with that technique a little bit more. I think I'm leaving a bit of coinage on the table once I lock in some profits. Pretty big spread too, to be honest, even on the underlying. Pretty big spread. See if this thing can keep flushing here, but yeah, so far so good. Okay, see if this thing can keep going here. But I'll take it, guys. Nice start to the week here. Nice start to the week. Have to trust the trend, right? Identify our plans, trust the trend. Get a good execution. That's going to hide a lot of our problems. That'd be nice. I'd appreciate if Apple got under 150. I think someone mentioned above 150, it's a little bit nervy. But if you get a good reaction or big rejection at a psych level, that's always a positive if you're bearish. Is there any, like when I call out my stock entry prices, is that causing any confusion? Any issues? Do you guys have any issues with my process of how I'm calling things out? Anything that I could do there to make things smoother, easier, whatever it is? I'll take that as a no issues then. All right, see if this thing can really start flushing here. Come on. I want some joy. Yeah, so I'll do my best, Rusty. Kind of what I'm doing here, and this is a little bit of maybe a bit of a cop-out to your answer. What I'm doing is when it gets into my zone, I'm clicking that as my limit price. So then give or take 227.08 is my limit price. And then I'm just watching for basically that tennis ball bounce back. So once I see that, then I'm looking to basically just try to time it up to click submit on what that actually is. And I'll see if I can work on this. But what I would say is that for myself, I kind of have a bit of tunnel vision here where I'm not really looking at the prices. I'm just kind of looking at the candle. And so I'm not, all I care is about, can I get a price better than what that red line is, essentially, right? What this entry target is. And if I can get that, then I'm kind of happy days. So yeah, I'll do my best to try to maybe be more specific on the prices. But yeah, I'm kind of just looking for this a reaction inside that area versus necessarily a specific price. Okay, the zone prices. So yeah, okay. I'll try to do that more in the Discord alert. That'll probably be the easiest. So I think I said Nvidia in at stop. Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't say the Nvidia pullback here zone. Yeah, I could totally do that. Won't lie, everyone and their mother is short, and it seems like a lot of people are. You know, this could set up like the mother of all short squeezes. quite a bit of volatility. MOAS? I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. I'm being dumb. Mother of all short squeezes. Yeah, well, Reddit only knows how to find a short squeeze in one way. Nice work, Michael. Nice work. Well done, man. Pretty impressed with the reaction here so far. The bull case, right? I don't have a bull case here today, so it's not that I'm trying to be super bearish, right? Or fight, go super short and, you know, be blindly short on everything. But I also, I have no desire to try to front run the bull case, right? That for me is the riskiest trade. Yeah, AMD Nvidia showing us relative strength to the downside. But would like to see that narrative flush out, right? We haven't really surpassed that first profit target yet lower, right? Or where we de-risked. So would like to see that, you know, kind of get some separation away from that area and not have to worry about things too much. Okay, Apple starting to reject here maybe a little bit, right? So I'd like to see this thing get under 150. Same narrative on the SPY, right? So now let's see if these things can start flushing down here. Feeling pretty good. I don't feel I've got any residual nervousness or like anxiety on this play. So I feel pretty good. Still pretty confident in my thesis. You know, like I said, locking in that profit early. We got pretty good lock in, about $1 down, right? That buys a lot of flexibility. It's crazy how a good entry price, good take profit just melts away that anxiety in a position. One thing that's starting to bother me a little bit is why can't I get separation, right? Or kind of continuation flush here? Like, I don't necessarily feel like I'm in a move that's necessarily trending, right? Well, it depends on a bunch of factors. D-Wayne, do you have a specific example you want to go over maybe? I got no issues in re-entering a winning idea as long as the risk reward criteria is still there, as long as you're actually still seeing that relative strength in your direction, whatever it is. But there's a fine line between seeing that and just like, oh, I've got P&L I can trade with, so let's trade. So I would say if you're gonna re-enter Nvidia, right, you'd want to enter in on a fake out above that inside bar, right, where you're risking 35 cents to make whatever it is, or you want to find like another entry trigger here, right? Because this isn't exactly telling you that you're in a trending trade here at the moment. So you'd want like either like an ultimate risk reward ratio, right? Or you'd want like I don't know, maybe like a bearish engulfing candle under that 226, right, on some volume, and then a pullback into that zone for a move back down towards sort of that next leg. But like just randomly in this range, you're coin flipping here. So you need either better risk reward ratio or another sort of pseudo setup trigger, right, that confirms your original thesis. Like that's the one thing that's starting to bother me a little bit about this trade, right? Is that we seem to be not behaving like it's trending price action, right? This is starting to behave like it's choppy price action. I would say that's the only thing that's starting to concern me just a little bit, right? Where the longer it wants to consolidate, you know, kind of in this mid spot, even, you know, maybe the higher likelihood is that it wants to retest those highs. Kind of the thought I'm wrestling with here a little bit. What's the time left on these candles? 30 seconds. Kind of fighting here a little bit my trained gut versus what I want to do. Where what I want to do, I decided, right, keep my stop loss at, you know, previous high a day or where my previous stop was. Because I've seen a lot of times, right, those moves continue to give me further follow through if I just kept my stop loss there. But almost like every other element of my gut is telling me, hey, you're not getting as much separation as you wanted. Cut this and make your few pennies. More than a few pennies, but make your money. And walk away. Just fighting it a little bit. Fighting it to see a little bit. Yeah, it'd be nice. Yeah. I mean, that 226 seems to be the area it needs to break. quite the tease. Feels a little bit stuck now. Tempted to a certain extent to get out here, to be honest. Give me some good extension here. Flush. And Tesla may be fading off of its highs. See if this breaks. Ugh, kind of ruthless now. Just back-to-back dojis up top here, right? Could go either direction. Could be just consolidation into VWAP to break out higher. Could be a lack of enthusiasm to break down lower. Kind of just, yeah, textbook no man's land. Tough to trust here. My thesis been invalidated? No. Has it played out exactly the way I expected. No as well, right? So is my thesis perfect? Probably not. Can this thing start to break down like a little psychopath like I wanted? I don't know. There's you know, like you watch like a lot of war movies or you watch an action movie, and the near the end of the movie, you know, you're like, you know, 85 minutes in, and the hero goes to the supporting actor, right, or supporting actress, and they're like hurt. They've got like cut across their arm or the bullet wound or something like that, and they're like, "Oh, we've gone too far for you to die here." Kind of how it feels like in this position. It's like, I've been in these dojis for too long to end here. Fuck, they don't feel like they're cooperating. Still being a little bit stubborn here. I'm not feeling great about this anymore. Hard to close this. Brad, are you in options or are you playing stocks? Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to close this and accept a loss here. I'm like down like 280 bucks, something like that. Pretty much back to P&L flat now. Da, da, da. That's fair. That's fair. What was your re-entry price? It's not terrible. Thing's green again. Fuck. This is... Oh, it's now going to trick me into making a bad decision. Well, 227, you mean? 227.77. So I think your re-entry probably too aggressive, right? Your best case scenario re-entry, right, or the one you wanted is on that inside bar fake out, like we talked about with Dwayne. Yeah, buying that middle, you're kind of buying like you're just buying a coin flip in that situation. So I would say study that second entry a little bit, where maybe it was a bit of a FOMO re-entry, where you just wanted to get whatever price versus the best price. Yeah, I would say don't, please don't, right? Please don't. Yeah, think about what maybe created that FOMO for the second entry, right? Was it, I mean, was it something I said? Was it maybe trade misbehaving the way you wanted? Maybe you got too emotionally attached to it. Whatever that excuse might be, or whatever that reason might be. I shouldn't say excuse. But try to think about that, because that's the pain point we should be avoiding. Because that, yeah, being that down 160 bucks, not the end of the world, but it wasn't. It was avoidable, right? So how can we basically avoid those avoidable mistakes? Okay. So you took the second trade without a very good plan, or a very good plan for what confirmation was of that happening. So I was like, oh, you kind of thought, okay, I have like a setup here again. Let's jump in. Sort of behavior. And I feel like I'm kind of one of the banks here needing a bailout now.
maybe you need to make like a plan for that. Where, okay, if I still think my thesis is valid, how can I basically make sure that my entry isn't? Or how can I make sure my entry is good enough, right, to justify that thesis? Because the idea of being correct is only 1/3 of the equation, right? We still need to get the right timing, need the right position sizing, need the right risk reward requirements. So that shouldn't be the reason in and of itself to just place a trade. There's got to be more to it. Oh, come on. Start breaking down, you prick. Ugh. Oh. That was the entry. 950? 951, pretty much. Almost an hour in this position now. For 30 cents from the entry price. Huh. Yeah, so I mean, look, I think your idea is correct, right? Okay, I see wiki candle. I don't see strong price action, but still need more information to want to time your entry, right? We need more info than that. So it's got to be like if-then statements for everything, right? Like a flow chart. Okay, if I feel this way, this is what I do. If I see this, this is what I do. But it can't be if I see this, I'm entering right away. There's got to be that next step of how you're defining what a controlled entry is, right? Where that FOMO entry is not a controlled entry. I mean, that's just being super obvious, right? But the decision, right, to enter needs to be more deliberate than I think my idea is correct. Good, Brad. Good. I'm glad. There should be a copy of that in the member documents. Basically, a decision-making flowchart. Apologies not being able to put it all in like a typical A4 sheet piece of paper. There's too much info there, but hopefully it still makes sense to everyone. One of those trades where I'm literally sitting on hands. Honestly, just because I couldn't get a fill in time. Like, I kind of joked how I got bailed out like the banks. I was meaning to mention this a little bit earlier, so apologies. I don't know if I have max viewership here at the moment, but just a friendly reminder, right, for everyone who is kind of coming up towards tax season and that's starting up for you. You know, if you are writing off any of your trading profits or you're claiming any trading profits on your income tax, please be aware that you can actually write off your DTR fees, right, for that. So that's one of the things that you can, in your taxes, you can write off coaching services and mentorship services as a day trader. Obviously, speak with your local accountant or check your local bylaws. But for traders based in the States and in Canada, quite confident that's true. So if you guys need like a invoice for total that you've rendered or total that you've paid off, total that you've paid to DTR, please let me know. I can get you that information so you can include that in your taxes so that you can, yeah, write off your 12-month worth of fees or whatever you've paid so far, or if you joined Lifetime or whatever. So you don't have to absorb that cost, or you can at least hedge some of that cost out from your tax burden. Yeah, just send me an email, Brad. And I'll get you like something that looks like an invoice, whatever it is. I'll put something in the Discord as well. But yeah, I mean, if we can save some money on taxes, let's save some money on taxes, right? Oh. This trade's making me feel like how I feel before my morning coffee. Kind of want to get out now. But if I know if it do, it'll go on a run. The self-torture. Yeah, just in a NVIDIA play here from 227.79, took some profit off at like 226.70 and just kind of holding on to this chunk, seeing how much further follow through I can get here. It's been a little bit of an Andrew Dice Clay play where it's just been like a little bit all over the place. Like we haven't gotten really a flush. It's kind of just been stuck since entry price for an hour. And so I'm kind of on the verge of cutting it here for a small win. Must be annoying being back in the office today. Welcome back from your holiday, obviously, but that first day back's tough. Oh shit, we gonna get bailed out here? Sorry, I've been cursing a lot today, apologies. I mean, who knows? Fed speaker could also just be, let's rip higher. We're gonna pause rate hikes while we sort out bank numbers. Oh, fuck me. I've kind of screwed myself over a little bit on this, where I've convinced myself, and maybe this is my reason to get out at this point, where I've convinced myself that no matter what decision I make when I get out, it's wrong.
And that's not necessarily a logical conclusion, but more of an emotional one for being in a play for an hour and not getting the reaction I would have necessarily wanted, right? It looked so good for that first 10 minutes. But then since then, it's been 50 minutes of meh. I almost need like a rosary for this trade. We can break 227. That would be a nice flush spot potentially. Can't. And Apple's bouncing again off of maybe the 20 MA. Oh. Yeah. Not really the strategy I tend to preach out here. Nice, Dayon. I love to hear that. Yeah, the only reason I'm still in this is because I'm trading shares, not options. If I was in options, I would have been time decayed out of this a long time ago. But man, I can't get any separation. I'm gonna be close to getting out, I think. Dun, dun. Sounds good, Brad. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, not too much going on, eh, Matthew, I would say. You tend to not get those gap and go situations or setups very often anymore. So it's gap fill and chill.
So still having like an existential crisis in this. Yeah. I would say for whatever, well, not for whatever reason, I know why. But I feel like a little bit emotionally attached to the outcome of this one. I want this trade to be so green, so bad. I don't want to end my streak, right, of 2 weeks of no red trades. So I'm maybe emotionally holding on to this a little bit. Thing is, I'm still well within my max loss number. It's giving me some, which is like the only really positive here that's giving me that flexibility, right? But yeah, I think I mentioned 10 minutes ago, right? Felt like every decision I would make is the wrong one. Kind of feel like I'm in that same spot, but now, you know, the trade ends red. Harder to accept. And just keep talking myself into this, right? Maybe a little bit of a case of the hopiums here. Da. Oh. Feel a little bit tortured here. Another 230 rejection. Uh, yeah, I am. Yeah. But I'm trying to get the courage to get out here. Basically, just waiting until I hit my max loss number, which is not far away. Got a little bit emotionally attached to this one. All right, guys, I'm closing this. I'm out.